Good afternoon from Toronto's Union Station, and welcome to this very special trip report. Today, we are flying from Toronto to Frankfurt aboard Lufthansa 747-400 in their business class cabin, and we are sitting in every aviation geek's dream seat, seat 1A. I'm starting my trip today from Toronto's Union Station, built in 1927. The fastest way to get to Pearson Airport from Union is by taking the Union Pearson Express, making intermediate stops at Bloor, Mount Dennis, and Weston before continuing on to Pearson. I've chosen this window seat and it has a nice overlooking view of the CN Tower. Up Express trains are sat in a 2x2 configuration and they have some very decent legroom. Also, the fold-down tray table has a good size, although it leans a little bit on your legs. There's also a cup holder. And the pocket on the back of the seat is actually quite small and it doesn't really move much. Here we are underway to Pearson Airport, where the estimated trip time is around 30 minutes. In every car by the doors, you can find this map of the Union Pearson Express's route. As I mentioned, it makes intermediate stops at Bloor, Mount Dennis, and Weston, with connections to GO Transit and TTC services. There is also this nice monitor. I'm in car 1002. Here's a view of the Rogers Center where the World Series contending Blue Jays play. In every Up Express train car, there are overhead bins to store luggage. As you can see here, they are heavily sponsored by Porter Airlines. Here we are arriving into Toronto's Pearson International Airport to Terminal 1. If your flight's departing from Terminal 3, connections can be easily made by the monorail, which is in the same exact station as the Up Express. As you will see in just a moment, I'm going to try this new time-lapse thing. Well, that worked pretty well. That cut the total trip time in half. Here I am arriving to Pearson's Terminal 1. Up this escalator and arriving to the departures hall, where I can see our flight on the departures board, LH471, departing from gate E75. We were flown from Toronto to Frankfurt Airport, which covers 6,300 kilometers. Something cool I found pre-security is this Copa Airlines check-in sign and baggage sizer. As I have a business class fare, I get priority security access. We are off to the E-gates today, and if you know anything about Pearson, it is a long, long walk. Here I am officially leaving Canada, bound for Germany. Here is a demonstration of how long this walk is, but don't worry, I'll just shoot right through it. Business class passengers on Air Canada, Lufthansa, Emirates, or Swiss, Aeroplan Elite status holders, Star Alliance Gold members, and the correct Aeroplan credit card holders have access to the International Maple Leaf Lounge in Toronto's Pearson Airport. It is a great place to spend some time before your flight. One thing I didn't appreciate was this window cover thing that completely blocked a clear view of the tarmac. There was also a lot of food options and they were pretty tasty. There was a cold bar, some warm options which included veggies, chicken, rice, and then a dessert bar. Also, one of the most impressive things that I took complete advantage of were the showers, and they didn't work as well as I would have liked them to. The showers were found in the back of the Maple Leaf Lounge, close to the cell-free zone, which actually has the best views of the tarmac. I have access to shower 1. Now it's important to note, to have access to the shower you must hand in your passport and boarding pass. The shower was a great place to freshen up before a long flight ahead. Upon request, you can also receive a dental kit, which simply came with a toothbrush and a tube of toothpaste. The shower pressure was good, but I unfortunately couldn't get the heat working, so I ended the shower being quite cold. After leaving, I closed the door, made sure it was locked, and went to give my key back to the front desk. After that, I figured I'd head down to the main gate area to see if I could spot our plane landing. To get to the main gate area, you have to go down these couple escalators, and then you enter a duty-free area. There was this very cool mosaic that I walked through, and then I got to the main passageway to get to the gates. Here's our gate for today, E75. Let's take a look at that's not our aircraft. So actually, just after looking at that, I got this email. Our gate is now E76. Here's actually an Air Canada flight departing for Frankfurt. Now you may be wondering why I didn't check out the Air Canada Signature Suite. Well, it turns out I simply didn't have access. Business class passengers on Lufthansa don't have access. Here's our aircraft arriving in from its inbound flight. Delta Alpha Bravo Tango Kilo is a 24-year-old 747-400. Here it is coming up nice and close to our gate. I am very happy to see that it is fortunately an old livery plane. So, turns out our flight was delayed, and the boarding process was one of the worst boarding processes I've ever endured. There was barely any communication. Finally, after about 40 minutes delayed, here we go, boarding onto the 747-400. This was one of the most surreal life experiences for me I've ever had. Walking onto the aircraft and then turning left is something that I will truly cherish for a long time. Lufthansa's business class cabin is arranged in a 2-2 configuration up front, but the reason I hesitated is because there's the one little middle seat in the fifth row. That is a great seat for solo travelers. As mentioned before, I am very lucky to be sitting in seat 1A. As we have some time before takeoff, let's take a look around the seat. Included amenities come with a pillow, which was pretty comfortable for the flight, a blanket, an amenity kit, which we will look into later, a water bottle, charging ports, seat controls, which were quite annoying, as I will elaborate on later in the flight. Slippers also were found in front of the seat. There was also a lowerable armrest, this weird plasticky thing attached to the window, which I couldn't figure out what it was for, and the headphones were found in a compartment beside the seat. They were quite good headphones, if I had to be honest. We were served pre-departure beverages, and I went with a water, and my seatmate went with a Lufthansa cocktail. The tray table was found in the armrest of the seat. It was quite confusing to use. The remote for the TV was also found there. We were served nuts in a bag pre-departure, which for Lufthansa I thought was a little disappointing. After that moving message from the captain, we received menus for today's flight. There was this note from the Lufthansa culinary team. The menu, which included an appetizer of ricotta, tomato, red onion, and pistachio, also a curry chicken, lobster, or carrot option too. The main courses of beef tenderloin, a sea bass, and a German pasta, I won't pronounce that word, and the desserts were a cheese platter, a Dubai cheesecake, or fresh fruit. Also, if you wanted to, you could express eat, and during the flight, there was snacks in the galley. There was a note on tableware. The menu in French. The champagnes on offer. The wines on offer. More wine. And there was this drinks list in English and German. The safety video played. I took a look at the safety features card, and we started pushing back. Please enjoy the pushback, startup, taxi, and takeoff of this beautiful 747-400.
Wir wünschen Ihnen einen angenehmen Flug.
Thank you for your attention. We wish you a pleasant flight.
promised earlier, let's take a look into the amenity kit provided by Lufthansa. Quite a lot came in it. This refreshing towel came. Soap, I believe, not sure though. Some earplugs. A toothbrush. Cotton pads. A mint. Some socks. And an eye mask. A hot towel was quickly served after departure. This marked the beginning of the meal service. I was served the sweet potato ube paste, and it was quite interesting. I also got an orange juice. Quickly after, the appetizer came, and I got the chicken curry. I also got this roll. It was really good. Shortly after that, the main meal came, and I got the beef tenderloin. It was a little overcooked, but tasted really good. As you can see, I cleaned the plate off. Let's take a look at the in-flight entertainment aboard Lufthansa. As you can see here, I'm struggling to select where I want to go. The controller and the armrest that I used was quite difficult. The cursor was really sensitive and it picked up on every movement. There was this in-flight map, which was really cool to see. Wi-Fi was available for €25 for the entire flight. Just as a comparison here, you can book a flight on Ryanair for 4.5 hours for €27. Insane. As we were over Newfoundland, I spotted this Air Canada A330 flying to Venice, which was really cool. As I mentioned, Lufthansa's business class forward cabin features a 2-2 configuration with that one weird middle seat. This is what my bed looked like fully made. It was pretty comfortable. After a restless and sleepless 4 hours, I woke up to the sun starting to rise over Iceland. So as one does, I got up and took a look at the snacks on offer. There were these chips, some shortbread cookies, which is what I got, and some carbohydrates there in the middle. After that, I decided to show you guys the restroom. It's a pretty decent size and it has a lot of amenities. Really only 2. After that, I noticed the sun starting to really rise as we got closer and closer to Europe, which meant the second meal was coming. I got the cold breakfast platter, which came with turkey, salami, grapes, cheese, couple rolls, some fruit, a smoothie, and a water. I also got a standard bread roll with some butter, which was pretty easy to cut, and the butter spread nicely. Please enjoy the landing of this Boeing 747-400. Something I noticed that was really cool was this crazy cloud layer that spread all across Europe. About 5 minutes away from landing, these chocolates were served. It came with 4 chocolates and a thank you note from Lufthansa. After landing, I got the chance of a lifetime. I got the opportunity to go see the flight deck. This was really one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had. It was so cool seeing the actual aircraft that has shaped generations of aviation enthusiasts right in front of my eyes. It was such a cool experience to walk up those flight of stairs that every aviation enthusiast has dreamt of. As we left the tarmac, this bus ride was so cool. We drove in front of a lot of Lufthansa planes, including that A340-600, this Boeing 747-8, another A340, and as you can see, a sneak peek before, another Boeing 747. After that, we started to peel away from the gate areas, and an observation I made is that so many people got off the bus at the connection stop. Hardly anybody actually was getting out in Germany. Customs went really quickly, and we started to make our way to the Lufthansa Welcome Lounge. This was a great place to freshen up, have a quick bite to eat, and get back out there to explore Frankfurt for the day. As you can see here, the shower area is actually located under the regular lounge. You can either take an elevator or do what we did and take the stairs. Here's a preview sample of the actual shower area. Those are my bags. And the shower is quite smaller than the Air Canada one, but I could get the heat working on this one. There's a central lobby area down in the shower area. And I took my bag and went up the flight of stairs to explore the actual lounge for a bit. There was a lot of fruit on offer and this nice business center where you could get some work done. There was ample seating for everyone in the lounge. A nice dining area close to where the food is. There was this nice kids menu with 2 different pizza types. There was lots of meat, eggs, and other German food on offer, as you would expect. Overall, a very welcoming lounge. So in conclusion, the question everyone has been asking, is the 747 really worth it? My answer is yes. The 747 is a marvel of aviation, and it is an experience like nothing else. You really can't replicate it. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time in the skies.